This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of events happening over the weekend. We didn't vote yet because we wanted you to hear this.
Okay.
How much dough did Joe Biden get for stepping aside? You know he got paid.
Do you think so?
Oh, God, yes. It had to be a pretty good chunk, too.
I would say whether or not he did, allegedly, it still takes a pretty big man to step aside, not running for a second term of the presidency.
Not if you're getting like 10, 20 million. Doesn't take a big man at all then.
But do you think he probably could have made more in office? That's the other thing.
Who knows? Yeah, it is all about money. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
That's Democrat, Republican, whatever. It's always about the money part of it. So Tim and I were just talking about the fact that Kamala Harris, and by the way, I still love people that do it on purpose, like Kamala. They know her name's not Kamala, but they still call her that.
And I could let it slide for the first, in leading up to the actual election back in 2020. But now it's like you've had 4 years. You should know what her name is.
Well, that's what I was telling Tavine.
Right. Me and Toom were talking about it earlier.
Toom and Tavine were talking about it in here earlier. And that's that deal. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think she's probably going to go with Gretchen Whitmer as her vice president? Because you have a black, Asian, white woman and a white woman. I mean, I can't see many women not voting for them. I mean, there'll be some that are, leaning right. But
no, I think it'll probably be. I think the top name is the Pennsylvania governor, whose name escapes me, or like Roy Cooper, who is like the North Carolina governor, who's after this term going to have to be out of office anyways, so they're kind of leaning on those two. I know Minnesota's Tim Walz is somewhat in the conversation.
God,
it's a distant long shot is what it sounds like based on betting odds, but his name has appeared on some lists.
What a joke that would be. That guy's a dreadful governor. I mean, you think he's a good governor? He's a very expensive governor, I will say that.
I would say that as somebody who really dislikes most politicians,
there you go.
There is much worse options, but there probably could be better options.
Who's a worse option than Tim Walz?
I mean,
I have to get a list of.
I think a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, he at least has a grasp on like political stuff.
He does,
for the to an extent. He at least knows how to do some things rationally, whereas I think other people will get in there and then they'd realize, well, there's so much like duty that I haven't, like I couldn't do it. I know that's for sure.
Right.
Like if you said, hey, you're the governor for the next week, everything would be on fire. I'd be terrible.
Yeah, and I feel like for Walz, like there wasn't a lot of like the pandemic was really rough for him. Like as far as some of the decisions he made, like because it wasn't the candy place he kept open as like an essential business, but then was like all these other stores have to shut down, so people didn't really like that. And then it turns out that like his friend owned the candy store or something like that.
There's your Tim Walz right there.
And so, but before it feels like before the pandemic, people at least were a little bit more happy with the job he was doing, and then afterwards, it's just kind of been a train wreck since then.
How many billions has he spent since he's been in office? He has spent like tons of money. And what did we get for it?
Not a lot.
Look it up. Look up and see how much he spent so far as governor.
But
I believe it's like $9 billion or something.
You don't think it's worth it when every year Minnesota's like the happiest place to live according to a study?
Which is bullshit anyway.
Like the great airport we got.
The airport's number one. That's exactly right. Look, I got to be honest with you. It's not that I'm taking a side. I don't like politicians. And I'll tell you the reason why, because I supported many politicians. I never hear from any of them anymore. Once my support was all they needed, I never hear from these people ever again. And that's on Democrats, that's Republicans, that's independents. Politicians are the worst people on earth. Matter of fact, if you're a politician, call in right now so I can tell you what a piece of shit you are. What do you say? Call in. Right?
The phone's just ringing off the hook.
Yeah, it's ringing off the hook right now. Don't you think most people are sick to death of politics in the world, in the United States, in the state of Minnesota, in the Twin Cities? I'm just sick to death of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Absolutely.
It's like you guys sit around on your ass and do nothing, and we pay for everything. Oh, did you hear the latest one? I don't know if this is going to hold up now with Biden being gone, but I assume it will. They want to set up a new structure. With the more money you make, the higher interest you should have to pay. So people with no money don't have to pay high interest.
I guess. And what do you mean interest?
So like on a
your
loan,
home,
yeah.
on your home loan.
Oh, okay.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
It's a horrible idea.
Like if you want to give people that have a lower income less interest, sure, that I guess. But why should somebody else? You don't have to like make up that money
exactly
on rich people for home loans.
And the number one thing you're talking about is the fact that poor people cannot go out and buy $1 million house anyway.
Right.
So what's the point?
Right. I would assume that most people that don't make a ton of money are probably renting.
Yes, that's probably
and
true.
So yeah, it's a way to add higher interest to, a $3 million home as opposed to having somebody rent. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I guess I'd be curious about like what is the line that where, because if you have like $1 billion, frankly, I don't care. Then go ahead, give them $1 billion% interest rate. But
that's nice.
Yeah, and I just don't think
they've earned it, but you want to punish them for being successful.
Have they earned it?
Well, that's a good point.
And I would assume too, like if you're, one of the elite wealthy, you're probably paying cash for a house anyway, right?
Yeah.
You mean like most politicians?
Yeah.
You mean like them? You mean the Nancy Pelosi's of the world and the Donald Trumps of the world?
If you have that type of money, you're probably you're not taking out a loan for a house.
Right.
Look, let me tell you the great American story. My mother was broke her entire life, just busting her ass as a diner waitress and all the rest of it. She bought a house on 26th between Newton and Oliver in North Minneapolis, paid $16,000 for that house. This is, 50 years ago or whatever. And the great thing about America is she got there, was wonderful. I got to paying off the house. And then she sold it like 20 years later for $16,000. It wasn't worth 1 more cent than she paid for it like 2 decades ago because it's in North Minneapolis. It never gained anything. Poor Toots. Toots doing a great job. But yeah, look, like I said, I don't have a side in all this stuff. And it's just, I really have a hard time believing if she does go with a woman as vice president, that they're not going to blow this thing sky high. You have a black woman, you have an Asian woman, you have 2 women, you got a white woman, you got it all, right?
I think the chances of them picking another woman is slim to none.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, just like the political like commentary online is like the pick for VP for her is going to be the definition of just a white dude who's blue collar.
Really?
I think so.
Well, that's probably going to be Tim Walz then. So that hammerhead will probably be vice president.
No, I bet you it's the Pennsylvania guy because thank you. Yeah, that's such a key state in the election. I bet you it's going to be Shapiro.
So you're going to have a black woman and a Jew? Now we're talking.
There you go.
You got to cover all the bases.
Is Shapiro's a very Jewish name, but not all Shapiros are Jews, I wouldn't think. Look that up, will you? Come on, Tavon.
Are all Shapiros Jews? No.
Are all Jews Shapiros? That might be the other part. But ask Josh Arnold when he's on.
Is that like a rectangle is a square, but not every square is a rectangle?
Yeah, see?
The other way around there?
Mm-hmm. See, that's the kind of thing you need to know. There's no question about it. So like I said, one way or the other, the entire world's going to shit anyway. So it's really nothing anybody getting elected president can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous. What do you got?
Let's see. Is Josh Shapiro Jewish?
This is taking you this long to do it.
Well, I was like, it's a work computer. I don't know if I want to type that in. Like, it felt weird to type into a computer.
Yeah.
Just the word Jewish.
Yes, it does look like he is in fact Jewish.
Oh, see, locking in more votes. I'm telling you, we're trying to lock in all the votes now.
So there we go. I'm just ready for the documentary about this election to get produced after it's all said and done. We've had like an assassination attempt, people dropping out.
Jeez, isn't that
like
amazing?
People like I'm already almost forgetting about the assassination attempt now that Sleepy Joe is gone. So
Sleepy Joe is gone, but still, do you think the Trump judgments will hold up now that he's no longer going to be the president of the United States? Because he is the one that drove that whole wagon. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and that's another thing that's almost forgotten about is like we almost had a felon running for president, and then he almost gets assassinated. Joe drops out. Like, what's the next thing that's going to happen?
What is going to happen next? I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, I just, and I'm not one of those people who gets all mad about. I don't get mad about politics. It's so screwed up, and it's been screwed up from the day I was born. So I don't get all whipped up about it. Some people get very angry about this. You don't believe what I do, then I hate you. Like, what?
Yeah. Or even if you like agree, but you don't go to the extent of the anger that they have. Well, now that you don't hate them as much as I hate them, well, I can't talk to you anymore.
Don't ever come near me again, is all I have to say. Hi, Kamala Harris here for Livia. Do I sound like her?
Spot on.
It's a pretty good sponsor gift for Livia.
Yeah, think about that. She doesn't need to lose any weight, though, so she don't. Hi, it's Tom Barnard for Livia Weight Control Centers. Your success story starts with Livia when you join Livia's doctor-recommended and award-winning nutrition program. You'll receive 50% off, and Livia Medical is offering $75 instant savings on GLP-1 medications. Whatever you need to make your weight loss journey a success, it starts with Livia. You will get personalized one-on-one support, expert nutrition, and medical support. Choose a trusted leader serving our communities for 15 years. Okay, Teflar, I got to ask you a question. Because part of the whole deal, what?
Slapping at Teflar.
Kevlar. But anyway, so as you lose weight, your skin loosens up. So you want to start lifting some weights, tighten things up, build a little muscle and all the rest of it. So I started lifting about 10 days ago. I put on 5 pounds last week.
Yep, that'll do it.
What the hell is that? That's not fair.
So
I'm working out even harder and I put weight on.
Yeah, it's all about the inches around the waist, not the number on the scale.
Well, you're right. You're right about that. But so you've gone through the same situation where you start lifting, you put on like 5 pounds immediately. Is it because it's holding on to water weight and all that stuff? And you do build muscle very quickly.
Yep. Yeah. Muscle weighs more than fat, they say. So
it definitely does. So I get to go to Livia on Thursday and go, yeah, it looks like I can put on about a 5 spot, but well, maybe, but it does level off eventually. But I don't know I can't remember how long it takes. It does take a while though.
Yeah. For
it to level off. But as long as you're building muscle, it's fine. But see, that's the other thing about it. My argument is when you get to a certain age, you don't want to weigh over any certain amount. So I don't want to put on even too much muscle mass because you don't want to carry that extra weight when you're, of a certain age, right?
Right.
That makes sense. Visit Livia.com. That's LIVEA.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA and receive 50% off Livia's nutrition plan. Plus, if you join Livia Medical, I said Livia Medical, you'll get $75 instant savings on the GLP-1 medications, semaglutide, also tirzepatide. I'm going to change my name to tirzepatide. Just call me Terry, though. Hey, Terry Bernard. Well, I got a brother named Terry Bernard, so I can't do that. I'm going to call him tirzepatide from now on. Hey, tirzepatide, what's happening? Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Accelerate your success with Livia.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That would be North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. You know that. If you're tired of just being a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company, locally owned, locally operated. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends, Milski, at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you know that I didn't pay one bit of attention to Saturday or Sunday's game. I had so much going on. I have no idea if they won or lost.
Ooh, so you don't know yet. Okay, they won,
no
Tom. They won both games 20-0. Historic.
Yeah. So in other words, they lost both games. Is that what you're saying?
They did lose both games.
I knew it. As soon as you went with 20-0, I knew they had to have lost them both.
Yeah, and it's even more embarrassing when you. I'm pretty sure. Was it Saturday? I think Saturday's crowd was the biggest in Target Field history.
Really?
It's like 41,400 or something. Because all these Brewer fans come in, and with their cargo shorts and Jeff Jenkins jerseys. It's funny. You guys think I joke about that. People think on our podcast too. Why do you always say Brewers fans wear cargo shorts and jerseys? My wife and I yesterday are walking around. We went to Minnehaha Falls for a while. Literally, the first thing we see is a Brewers fan in a Christian Yelich jersey and brown cargo shorts.
Nobody keeps jerseys alive and more fashionable than Milwaukee Brewer fans. It's crazy.
I know. It's amazing. Good for them.
All you need to know. SKOR North's Phil Mackey, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. But what's interesting about that, Phil, is being a lifelong, since I was 9 years old, Twins fan, I knew they weren't going to win either one of those games. It's just what they always do. Whenever they're, like eking up and looking really good, they take it right in the shorts.
Yeah, and now they face an even better team. The Phillies are coming to town here. That's going to be a fun team to watch here. Bryce Harper, one of the most electric players in the game. But yeah, this is not an easy way to start your second half of the season out of the All-Star break here.
One thing I will say, though, just even if the Twins lost a couple, that is one of the greatest stadiums I've ever been in. It is a phenomenal baseball stadium.
15 years later, it's incredible. When you walk around and it feels like a brand new stadium still in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
And I think it's the same. Like, they haven't redone the bathrooms or anything. They just clean it really well. They've every year they're pumping in money with new features and foods and
good chow.
Yeah. That's good chow. Yeah, some of the best ballpark food in America.
It's the one ballpark I've never had gotten drunk in, so that was good.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't. What it opened like 12, 13, 14 years ago.
When did you mostly stop drinking?
12 years. I think it's 12 or 13 years ago. Do you remember?
No, I do not.
You can't help me at all.
Nope.
Typical.
Well, 12 years sounds about right.
Kevin's drunk right now, which is why he can't remember.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But
I will say it is a fun stadium to get drunk in, not to make you feel jealous, Tom.
No, I bet it is. That'd be pretty terrific.
It's the best bar in the Twin Cities. It's a little more expensive than like O'Donovan's, but it's a great bar. Target.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that. No question about it. But, it's just one of those situations. I had a good run, and there was this vote in my house. I didn't get to vote. The only vote in the house was Catherine. So let's guess how she voted.
Wait, so this is like an intervention?
No, not really. Well, not really. It was more of a respect thing than anything, because she was, getting pretty tired of it. And I kind of knew that. So out of respect, I just said, forget it. I'd rather be married to Catherine than get hammered with my buddies.
What was did you have like a particular vice? Was it like Patrick Royce, who talks about gin back in the day? He's been sober for 50 years, but.
Red wine.
Okay.
Which can drive you nuts anyway, even if you don't drink a lot of it. Red wine can make people really crazy. There's no question about that. But yeah, as a matter of fact, we just, because of that, it wasn't sitting there, all of it, the whole 12 years, but my Catherine and I just donated a bunch of wine to the poor to help them out. And so that something good came of it. So that's good.
My first experience with red wine was in college, Tom. And I don't know, did you ever play like drinking games when you were young, like beer pong? You ever play beer pong before?
Oh yeah, that's right. God, I forgot all about that.
They set the cups up in a V shape, and you have to throw the ping pong ball, usually in a cup that's like a third filled with light beer.
Right.
And I happened to be at a college party one night. I like just turned 21 and like didn't know what was what. And they decided, what if we replace the beer in these cups with wine? Let's play wine pong, red wine pong.
Sure.
And so each cup was filled about halfway up with red wine. And we lost and had to drink. I feel like I maybe drank most of them for some. All I remember is going to the old McDonald's on campus and ordering like 5 Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
And it's the only time I ever blacked out in my life. Red wine on campus.
By
the way, the next morning, so I had just landed an internship at KFAN. I was just like in college and had to get up for the Sunday morning shift to go answer phone calls, whatever.
Sure.
And I wake up, my phone's ringing by my head, and it's my dad calling me, listening to the radio show that I'm supposed to be like producing and interning on. And they're making fun of intern Phil. 1 month on the job, he decides not to show up.
Whoops.
Or 20 minutes into the segment. So yeah, that was the last time I played Red Wine Pong in my life.
I understand. So you didn't get the hook though. They didn't fire you.
No, it didn't fire me, and
so that's good.
and now look at me, a titan of media here 20 years later.
Unbelievable the depth that you never mind.
What a career. Yes.
What a career, man. No question about it. But yeah, I think we still got some wine left. There's a wine refrigerator, so that's mostly white wine, I'm sure. Champagne and white wine. But no, it was good back in the day. One of the things, I got a friend named Kendall Norberg, and Kendall is a very big, strong, very tough guy. So when we'd go to a bar, he would always keep an eye on me. And the first time I would look at somebody like, what are you looking at? Kendall would come over and go, okay, get in the car. Let's go.
Whiskey Tom has emerged here. And
Whiskey Tom has emerged. It's all, I don't carry any, regrets or anger from such a, sterling, wonderful childhood. So there's no anger there at all.
The fourth glass of wine hits and Tom starts to turn his head sideways a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Stare at people.
Get that wide-eyed open gaze. No question about it. But what the hell? So in any case, I will never have had a Schweel at Target Field, but it's a magnificent stadium. No,
you're saying you're never gonna cave in, but sometimes they make you want to, depending on what happens on the field.
That's true. Yes, that's very true.
The Vikings start training camp this week too. Training camp. So today is the Kevin O'Connell and then Kwesi Adofo-Mensah just sort of kickoff press conference. And then Wednesday is the first full team practice where we get to see the quarterbacks do battle. Will it be J.J. McCarthy winning the job as a rookie or Sam Darnold? So it's the first time we've had quarterback drama at Vikings training camp in quite some time here.
I'm thinking I want to let him, kind of ease into it rather than rushing him.
Yeah. So Kevin O'Connell, pretty unique experience because in his career as a player and a coach, he's been around the Tom Brady's, the Matthew Stafford, some of the best quarterbacks. Even Kirk Cousins was really good. But he's also been around Johnny Manziel, total bust. Dwayne Haskins, total bust. And he carries some regret from like the bust that he's been around. So he's going to err on the side of not putting J.J. McCarthy into an actual NFL game until he checks all the boxes behind the scenes.
Should be a hell of a quarterback once he kind of grows into it.
Yeah, he's got an arm. He's there's a great article, ESPN.com, Kevin Seifert, who's been a long time football writer. He used to be the lead beat writer for the Star Tribune back like 20 years ago. And he basically pulled the curtain back on the Vikings process for drafting McCarthy, like the 2 years leading up to saying goodbye to Cousins. And really interesting, one of the things that the Vikings did, so they did like 5 private workouts with these young quarterbacks, including J.J. McCarthy, where they'd fly their whole crew into Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they'd spend a day and a half with J.J. McCarthy, but then they would give him little testers throughout. So they would say, hey, you pick a lunch spot for the 8 of us, the coaching staff, and they're wondering what kind of place does he pick? Does he pick a hole in the wall? Does he try to overcompensate and pick a nice steakhouse? When we get to the restaurant, he picked a deli in Ann Arbor, by the way, that was kind of just off campus. Ooh. Is he weird to the fans that walk up to him? Is he an asshole to the servers? Is he nice? Like they were testing him in all these different ways, and Apparently, he checked all the boxes for them when they visited him.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear
I
that.
don't know. Maybe they were looking for someone to be an asshole to the servers. We need someone with some more aggressiveness.
There you go. Well, yeah.
Drop an F-bomb once in a while.
I said I wanted a lemon in my water.
Yeah.
Just hit somebody for no lemon. Yes, that would work really well. Just sock them right in the mush. No question about it. But so, yeah, so they've lost a couple. They ain't looking too good against the Phillies either, I wouldn't think.
Well, baseball is a funny thing. If you can just
true.
Get a good pitching performance. The problem is all the injuries. Carlos Correa is on the injured list now with the foot problem. Royce Lewis is not back yet. So they've got basically their two best players are out right now. And their bullpen, they need to make a trade at some point here in the next week for a pitcher. But
plus the fact we could, we could go out and get Joe Biden. He's got nothing to do.
Yeah, he is free. Well, no, he's not free until like January though.
Until January 6th or something like that, or 5th.
Can I just my one strong take on this that I'd like to bring to the show here is
sure.
I see a lot of people like Josh Hawley and some of these other, like the Republican side saying, well, wait a second, if he's not able to run for president, if he feels like physically, mentally he's not able to run for president in November, then why shouldn't he step down now and just give up the presidency? I think there's a big difference between not being able to win in November and maybe working like the next 5 or 6 months and projecting what is his health going to be in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Right.
Like that, to me, that's the argument. Can he?
No, I agree.
Can he win or not? And then if he wins, what's he going to be like in 3 years if we're already questioning this? I'm less concerned about the next 5 or 6 months, I guess.
I have a question for you. How big a bag of cash did he get for stepping aside? Because he got paid.
One of my favorite shows, ABC had all these like drama shows over the years, right? There was a show called Scandal. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, that was a good show.
I think it'd be great to just pull the actual curtain back on what really happens. Because I think it's much more like those shows in House of Cards, with Kevin Spacey. Yeah, man. I mean, there's some people speculating, hey, we haven't even actually like seen or heard from him in 24 hours. Did he just like take a nap and somebody put a letter out on Twitter? He like woke up and what's happening?
It's going to be an interesting world. The world is turning more and more psychotic, so we'll see how it all works out.
Yeah, and man, and it just feels like I'm a big professional wrestling guy. I know you are from back in the day.
Sure, yep.
It just feels like the road to WrestleMania, where you think it's one thing, and then all of a sudden there's this. Are we going to get like a guest special appearance from somebody that jumps into the race? I don't know. I feel like there's more drama ahead.
No, I think there's a lot of drama ahead. There's no question about that. Lots and lots of drama. No doubt about it.
Just like they're announcing Harris for like the presidency, and it's really Joe Biden in like a Harris mask and rips it off. He's like, I'm back. We're going to win.
I'm
just
back,
like
baby.
Glass shatter.
Sanders is here.
Bernie Sanders is back.
He's got the money in the bank.
I was thinking of something, after you made that statement. What if they come to an agreement where if Kamala's going to run for president anyway, why don't they just flip the two? Why doesn't she be president now and he could be vice president for the last few months? Just flip.
Just like for the rest of the term here?
Yeah.
I think because they don't want it'd be essentially like, to bring it back to sports, signing the Wild, a college guy at the end of the season, and burning the first year of his contract. If she technically took office now, I believe she couldn't rerun because this would technically fulfill like a term.
No, I suppose, yeah. So she wouldn't want to.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think even though it's going to be a mere months, she wouldn't be able to then go up for re-election if she were to win.
A few months ago, Nikki Haley, I can't remember what event it was, but she was speaking, and she said the first party to ditch the 80-year-old is going to win the election. Well, the Democrats ditched their 80-year-old, and now it's crazy. Trump is the oldest presidential candidate in the history of the election, I think, going back almost 300 years.
You might be right about that. Well, how old is he? 77, 78, something like that?
Let's see.
He's not 80. I know that. I think he's like 77, if I remember correctly.
He's 78.
78.
He is 78. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's got to be the oldest ever, I would imagine. So
he doesn't look as old as George Washington with like the white hair and wooden teeth.
Yeah, well, there is that. You're right about that.
It's funny, you like look at pictures of people from the 17 and 1800s and like, boy, that guy looks like he's 100. No, he's 28. It's just been a drought of a summer here.
Well, remember the grapes of wrath. I'm really worried about Ma. Yeah, she's getting very old. She's 55, you know.
I know.
55.
She's 15 years past the average life expectancy.
Exactly. It's like, man, you kind of dying young back in those days. But look, I mean, the one thing that everybody, I hope, will calm down and understand is whoever wins. Calm down. Relax. Get over it. It'll be fine. With one way or the other, they're going to nail us for every dime they can get out of us. So it doesn't really matter.
We're all just specks of dust. We're all just pawns in the universe.
There's no question about it. All right, Pally. A brilliant report, I thought.
I thought so, too. I mean, we'll have to review the tape and find out. And we can recap a sweep by the Phillies of the Minnesota Twins on Friday.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you. Well, I feel much better now. SKOR North Phil Mackey brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We shall take a break. Be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees, I want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock, clearance, and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM. And you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets, only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or just call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
It is indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So what else is happening? Anything good?
Ooh, guy, try again.
Yeah,
different question, please.
Not really. Like, the latest news I've seen is that Minnesota's closing a bunch of beaches here in Minneapolis, Bada Makaska, Lake Harriet, and Lake Hiawatha, because of high E. coli levels from all the storm water runoff getting in.
E. coli,
E. coli,
like
poop?
you would, is that in like you like you would get from like raw beef or whatever. That type of E. coli?
I believe so. It says just E. coli is higher. The levels of E. coli are higher than the normal standards that they hold. So pretty much a bunch of beaches are getting closed.
I thought that was poop.
That's what I always thought too.
E. coli, isn't that turds?
From like human waste? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of salmonella.
Salmonella is what you're probably thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just, it's one of those situations where what are you going to do? I mean, no. So which beaches are closed?
Badema-Casca, Lake Harriet, and Lake Hiawatha.
But not some of the other ones. Calhoun's okay.
Well, no, that would be the Badema-Casca.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's not Calhoun anymore.
The North Beach, Thomas Beach, and 32nd Street Beach, which I believe are just all three of them. But yeah, and then what was it, 2 years ago, Lake Minnetonka on Big Island, that all got shut down because there was a bunch of E. coli from everybody doing their thing in the water.
You said that the levels are higher than what like they allow them to be.
Mm-hmm.
How high do they usually allow them? Like that's concerning.
Question.
Maybe it's one of those things where it's like it's natural, like there's a like it's impossible to get zero, but like what is the level that they allow? What's the wiggle room that they allow it to be?
I'm not sure what the wiggle room is, but it's a lot like how in certain processed foods there's a certain level of like insects that can be in the batch because like, we can't guarantee that an ant didn't crawl in and get mixed in. So yeah, I'm sure something like that. Okay.
That's nasty. That's all I have to say. All right. Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence. This stuff happens to me all the time. There's no question. I was just talking about the fact that I've been losing weight like a madman. I started lifting weights about 10 days ago, get on the scale over the weekend, and I put on like 5 pounds. Now, that's not a real weight gain necessarily. You gain some muscle, so it did put weight on. The number one story on Wise Brother this morning, number one, you probably weigh more today than you did on Friday. What a coincidence that is. So is everybody going through this? You started lifting weights with me, did you?
Yeah, or I would assume that most people don't work out on the weekends. A lot of people do probably, I work out, Monday through Friday, rest on the weekend, and so maybe you gain a little weight.
It's part of their like weekly after work, like that's their second. It's their stop home after work, and if they're not going to work on Saturday, why go to the gym?
Yep.
Here's what I'm thinking: it's booze. They put on the weight because of booze,
especially in the summer, booze and maybe a little barbecue.
If you weigh yourself every day, you might want to chill out on that anyway. Experts say weekly weigh-ins are better because it prevents you from becoming too obsessed with it, but it keeps you aware of weight fluctuations. Everyone's weight varies from day to day, and that's normal. On average, it fluctuates about 0.35% during the week, and we tend to weigh more on Mondays right after the weekend. Here are the 6 main reasons you might weigh a little more. Gee, let me guess. Would it have something to do with food and alcohol? I haven't seen the list yet. You might weigh a little more or less from one day to another. How hydrated are you? You'll weigh less if you're dehydrated, which isn't a good thing. Most of the stuff on the list has something to do with water weight. Number 2, the type of food you ate. If your dinner was high in carbs, you'll weigh more the next day. Your body has to retain 3 to 4 grams of water for every gram of carbs you eat. See, I didn't know that. That's a good fact, actually. Salty foods make you retain water. 2, how much food you ate. If you eat a half a pound of food, you'll obviously weigh a half pound more, at least for a little while. Bowel movements, back to the E. coli. Back to E. coli, ladies and gentlemen. It varies a lot depending on how big you are and how much you eat, but the average person weighs a quarter of a pound to a full pound less when they walk. You pooped out a whole pound of poop? That's a lot of poop, isn't it?
That seems like a very large amount.
Because that doesn't weigh very much, I wouldn't think.
I feel like there's some like constipation that leads up to that, to where the dam bursts.
You're absolutely right. Exercise. Again, because of water weight, the average person sweats out about a liter of water or 2 pounds worth during 1 hour of moderate exercise. But any water you drink during your workout counteracts that. And finally, hormonal changes. Women retain water during their cycle and can temporarily gain up to 4 or 5 pounds because of it. Totally normal. So what I would do if I were you is just, they're right. Don't weigh yourself every day because that's just not a good idea. It just isn't. You're going to fluctuate. It's going to go up. But unless, of course, it doesn't frustrate you, then you can weigh yourself every day. If it doesn't bother you, then you're fine. Correct?
Yeah. If you're the type where you're looking at the scale and every, tenth of a pound that goes up or down you're stressing over, probably don't weigh yourself every day. But if you're just kind of like, oh, I want to just check in, I like playing the game of I'm going to weigh myself and see if I can guess exactly what I'm at.
Yeah.
And usually I can get it within like a half a pound or so.
I like it. That works for me. We shall take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere coming up in about 5 minutes, as a matter of fact. Hi, Tom Barnard here for Livia Weight Control Centers. Your success stories start with Livia when you join Livia's doctor-recommended and award-winning nutrition program. You'll receive 50% off, and Livia Medical is offering $75 instant savings on GLP-1 medications. Whatever you need to make your weight loss journey a success, it starts with Livia. You'll get personalized one-on-one support, expert nutrition, and medical support. Choose the trusted leader serving our communities for 15 years. So here's the deal. As I said, I started lifting weights, which you got to do. I mean, you got to put some muscle on, because when you lose weight, first of all, your skin will start hanging and looking weird anyway. But putting on muscle is good. And again, you don't want to put on too much muscle. There's a certain limit to how much weight your heart wants to carry. That's just a fact. But yeah, I actually put on 5 pounds from lifting weight. So that's not going to stay on. I mean, I would assume a lot of that is sucking in the water and the calories and all that stuff. So it won't stay that high. Probably by the end of the week, I should be in back where I was, or a little even lower. That's just how it works. Visit Livia.com. That's Livea.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA and receive 50% off Livia's nutrition plan. Plus, if you join Livia Medical, you'll get $75 instant savings on their GLP-1 medications, semaglutide, and tirzepatide, which is your new nickname.
Yep.
Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Accelerate your success with Livia.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
All right, we are back with Bob Sansevere. Bob Sansevere Sports is brought to you by Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw & Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Bob, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. And how are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing well. Tom is down the hall. He should be back any second.
I was going to say he's wasting away to nothing. I know he's on that diet.
Yeah, that diet's really working, Bob.
Yes, Livia has done well.
It's very, very impressive what's happened with it.
There.
Oh, there he is.
Look, you have to understand something. This is not a radio show. It's a podcast. So if I get up and wander off, it's none of your damn business.
Hey, everybody's entitled to a pee break.
I didn't say I was going to pee.
Oh, no, I'm sure it was something else. Everybody's entitled to a poop break.
Why don't you shut up? Typical Italian attacking me.
Hey,
what's going on, Tenny?
Well, over the weekend, I've never heard of this before, but I saw this sculpture, which is phenomenal. Some Italian guy did it.
Oh, here
back
we
in the
go.
1700s, where he's got a net over him, and it's incredible. The the work that was the intricacy. It took him 10 years to do. It is in the Museum de Sansevere in Naples, Italy. So we have pretty prominent here. Sansevere, that's right, with an O. So I'm a part of that Sansevere Museum. They just spelled it wrong. We come over on the boat.
That's what it was.
My ancestors.
That did happen once in a while. Italian names would be translated and they were spelled wrong and pronounced wrong and the whole deal. That did happen a lot.
Well, they probably, and I'm guessing there was a town called Sansevere. I'm sure there was, and that's how they screwed up the spelling.
Right.
So I would have thought I would have heard about this place before this weekend, but hey, what can I say? I've been busy.
If I was named after the place I was born, my name would be Tom Long Prairie. What do you think?
Long Prairie.
Long Prairie. Long Prairie.
Give it a little bit of that.
No doubt about it. No question about it. So everything going. Now, I did not watch the Twins this weekend because I kind of figured they usually come back from break and get their ass handed to them. And of course they did.
Hey, they've lost 3 straight because they went into it with a loss.
Yep.
So, but you know what? Cleveland's losing some games too. They're 5 back.
True.
So could be worse, but it ain't. And you got Joe Mauer got his Hall of Fame induction in.
Yeah. How did that go?
I'm sure it went fine. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. Seemed like a nice enough guy. I've never met him, but he seems like a nice guy.
I never really had a problem with him, and he was always a decent enough guy. He didn't understand why people at some point were just wondering. I mean, why can't he play, or what's going on? I don't think they ever really shared with us the extent of the issues that he had, the physical and then also with the concussions. But when he played, I mean, there was no finer catcher, offensive catcher.
No, you're right. Yeah, no doubt.
He deserved. I have a vote for the Hall of Fame, and I absolutely voted for him. To get on the first ballot. He's one of the younger guys, certainly, to go in.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in the first ballot, so good for him.
I think he's the youngest right now. Actually,
is he the youngest now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because his career didn't. Because of the the concussions, he did curtail his career sooner than many others do. So,
I think the oldest living up until like a month ago was Willie Mays. I don't know who took now the living oldest reign now.
Why? I mean, Willie Mays was voted in right away.
No, but he meant the oldest living is what.
Living.
Yeah, sorry, like still living member. Yeah, and now I'm not sure who takes that title now that he's passed.
I loved Willie Mays. What the hell are you doing killing off Willie Mays? Stop doing that.
Yeah, Tevin, why are you killing baseball legends?
Way to go. Typical.
Some people should never die.
I would agree with that. And I'd like to be one of those, but it ain't going to happen. So never mind.
You know what, Tom? I'm saying the chance, it hasn't happened. So the odds are maybe in your favor for immortality. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. So eventually, you're absolutely right. There's no question about it. But
no, I'm not a big Bible thumper, but I did read that in the Bible, there's like, was it 4 or 7 guys who lived to be 28,000 years or had 28,000 year reign. You know what? I was thinking about that. What are we in? Here we are. It's 2024. That's less than a tenth of the lifetime they claim these guys had.
But imagine when you start collecting Social Security after 28,000 years, you're doing pretty well, I would imagine.
You are. Hey, look, I got another few bucks. I will say this. I mean, I think it's the whole thing about this whole alien, aliens coming to Earth. When you look at some of these pyramids, there is no freaking way they did that with a bunch of elephants and a workforce.
It is a miracle. There's no question about that. Stonehenge, things like that.
The Great Pyramids of, was it Cheops? They claim that it's like over 25 million blocks. God. And it would take, basically they had to lay like, I don't know, 10 blocks an hour in order for it to happen. It would still take them thousands of years. So I don't quite understand how they did it, but I'm thinking the aliens had a little something to do with it.
You think so? Came to Earth and set him up?
Yeah, I think maybe they came to Earth, mated with a few apes, and that's how we got us.
Oh, so we're descended from the ape. Good.
I could make that argument. I think you could make that argument, yeah. But
why? Why are you looking at me?
But I digress. You do have long arms.
Yeah, I do have very short legs and very long arms. That is true. I'm very ape-like.
Tom and I, now I don't think Tevin or AJ do, but I do, and I'll let Tom decide for himself. I have a Funhouse mirror body where I've got a longer upper torso and, short legs.
I do too. Same thing.
Yeah, it's that Funhouse mirror body. I wanted the other one, though, where it elongates the legs. But I never got that body. My kids get it. I did. Yeah.
That guy only lived to be the tallest man ever, only lived to be like 24 years old, so don't get too tall.
Yeah, he didn't have too much of a run there, did he?
No, 24 years old he died. Jesus. A little early. So Sandy, what do you think now? We're gonna end up with a new president, one way or the other, whether it's Trump or it looks like it's gonna be Kamala Harris.
It's not gonna be it's not gonna be her as president, I don't believe.
Well, you don't think so?
No. I mean, I don't see how you take it away from her at the Democrats. I mean, she's a black woman. How do you say no to that if you're the Democrats?
Yeah, I mean, she's Asian, she's black, she's white, she's a woman. She's got all kinds. She's ticking off all kinds of boxes.
I also think that if you're the Democratic leadership, maybe what you decided is you want to have a reset because you don't want to be stuck with her for 8 years. So I think maybe they realized in the next 4 years they will find a formidable candidate who can just get them in office for 8 more years, and then whoever the VP is goes another 8 and just keep it going. Maybe it's Hakeem Jeffries because he's like the rising star in that party.
Yeah, he seems to be.
As long as it's not AOC.
Yeah, AOC get nonstop bitching for 4 months or 4 years. That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be fantastic. But
here's the one thing I don't understand about this Democratic Party. First of all, they think we're stupid. That after all of them were, all the Democratic leaders were, we got to get him out of there and he's got to move. Now they're talking about what a great statesman and patriot and guy he's been.
Was that right?
Oh yeah, they shoved the other stuff aside, but they, it had to be a compromise, don't you think, Tom? Hey, you step aside and let him finish out as president. But yes, let's keep a guy who they've decided is not cognitively capable within inches of the nuclear codes.
Yeah, that's not great. I do understand what you're saying there. It's, I don't know. It's one of those situations where, I just, like I said, I went and had lunch with Trump when he was president of the United States, which is still an honor. I don't care who the hell the president was. To have lunch with the president of the United States is a hell of an honor. And then, we'll just, I don't know. We'll see how everything goes. Do you really care who the president is? Because is there one president you can say, what a great job they did?
I do care because I do think, open the paper just about any week or any day, and there are people who are dying because people came across the border who killed them.
No, that's absolutely
illegally.
True.
So yes, I think the president can impact our lives.
So do you think that Kamala Harris might have a problem because she was the border czar, if you remember?
Has she been there yet? That was the big knock on her. She never went to the border.
I don't think she ever did go to the border, but so I don't know how this is going to go. I just, the one thing I have heard from a few of our listeners, our female listeners, are yet another thing that white women will be the last to do. They're kind of pissed off that white women never get picked. What are you going to do?
Hillary was there, but it didn't quite work out for her.
Didn't work for her, no.
But this also, we don't know what's going to happen at this convention. Here's the thing that Dean Phillips, do you know him at all?
I know Dean pretty well, actually. Not great, but yeah, he's a nice guy.
Well, everyone I've talked to says that he's a nice guy.
A year
ago, he got vilified for saying what everyone else knew but wouldn't say out loud, that the president has cognitive issues.
Yes, he did. You're right.
And so how could he be the only guy to know that? And the only guy to speak of it? When Kamala Harris, she helped enable this because she talked about, he's very alert, he's this, he's that, he's wonderful. And all the other ones said the same thing until the debate when they realized just how bad it was going to go in the election. And suddenly the party that talks about democracy and how the Republicans are ruining democracy, and I'm not a Republican, but I mean, we're not stupid. Right. We see what you're doing out there. You suddenly, they decided to put democracy aside and decide to get rid of him and bring in somebody else. That's not the democratic process.
Yeah, I would agree. Actually, if Dean Phillips ran for president, I'd probably have a pretty hard time not voting for him.
Oh, I'd consider voting for him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He is, from what I understand, I don't know him personally, but He is what I believe. I voted for Wellstone twice, and I would have voted for him the third time because I felt he was sincere. I didn't agree with all his politics. Frankly, I didn't agree with a lot of them, but I did believe he believed in what he was saying. And that's all I want from a politician is someone who's honest, because it's so rare once you get to the federal level. Even at the state level, it's rare, but particularly at the federal level.
I would have to agree with you. I love the fact that you voted for a guy who hated my guts. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, I could separate that.
I can separate.
He never hated your guts.
He did too. He didn't like me at all.
No, I don't know about that. I think you're getting some bad info.
I get a lot of bad info on a lot of people, actually, to tell you the truth.
You're getting some bad 411. So, but anyway, if he had survived, he probably would be president now.
It could be. I still do not understand. The story was that he had the co-pilot take over to land the plane. Is that true?
Oh, I hadn't heard that. Is that
because co-pilot was black, and therefore he wanted to look good, using a black man to look good. I wonder if that's true.
Did you hear from a Republican?
I don't even remember who told me. I don't really talk a lot of politics with people. I just don't care. Right? It's like, yeah, whatever.
It's probably the best way to go. You know.
Yeah, I mean, my mother was an ardent Democrat her whole life, so I never have disliked Democrats or Republicans because of Lamont Dean. He was my mother's best friend and my, I guess, third cousin. He would have been. So, Democrat, Republican, I loved them both. They were dear people to me. It's just the extremes, the way far right and the way far left. I have no time for that.
Well, I think it's much smarter what you do is just talk about religion.
Yeah, let's talk about religion. That's
one of the other taboo subjects.
God, you have to believe in something. Remember that? In every bar you ever went to as a kid? You got to believe in something. I believe I'll have another drink.
Norm!
Norm! That's right. Norm did that, didn't he?
I saw this on, because there's a lot of clips from shows that are on social media when the first words out of Lilith and Frasier's kid, Norm! Because he was in the bar.
Norm!
And then Lilith goes, he said mama. Yeah.
That was a great show. That was a really good show.
Absolutely it was. And so was Frasier. They were both really good shows.
Frasier was good. The new one's not very good, though. I don't like the new one.
It was nostalgic a little bit, so I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it as much. The original one, I thought, with his dad was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
The dad and the brother and all that. That was really, really good.
Now, have you watched Cobra Kai? The new season's out.
I have not seen the new season yet.
Yeah, I like it. You know what? They pulled was it the 1920 thing for Yellowstone? They just cut it, and we won't see the second half till November.
Yeah, November.
It's ridiculous. Just give it to us. My God.
There's a third part that's coming out in like March.
So now this is a 3-part end season 6. Oh my God! So. Why? Quit milking it. Just give it to us. Because I'm trying to power watch that, and I'm trying to power watch through the. And by the way, they're building it up like Anthony Hopkins starring in Those Who Want to Die or Those Who Die. What the heck? The one about the Roman gladiators.
Oh yeah.
It takes a little while to get into, but I'm into it.
What's it called?
Do you remember? I'll look it up quickly. I think it's those. It's like the thing. Those. We come when they introduce themselves. They have a line that they say, and it's a takeoff on that. I think it's Those Who Want to Die or Those About to Die.
For those about to die.
I think that's what it is. But let me take a quick look here. I think it's Those About to Die.
Yeah, it looks like it's Those About to Die with Anthony Hopkins, Ian Rowan, Rain, JoJo, something, Macari, Sarah Martins.
So I'm not going to tell you what happens to Anthony Hopkins, but he may have decided to take a vacation in Pompeii. So he disappears after a few episodes. So he's the big name to get it going.
I got to be honest with you. One of my favorites of all time. I love his acting. Really good. He's understated.
But he disappeared for years.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
And now he's come back. The other guy who disappeared, and I think he's had health issues, is Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I loved him too. Another great guy. We used to have him on the KQ Morning Show all the time. Yeah. Remember that when he'd write books? He was a terrific guy. But Anthony Hopkins, it's hard to top Anthony Hopkins. He was just, hello, Clarice. He was so good at that.
It's chilling.
Oh God. Yep, very, very good. So anything new on TV that I should be watching?
Well, those two things wouldn't be a bad choice.
Yeah.
So those and well, I mean, I don't know how new you've seen the Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. You saw that, you said, right?
No, I never liked that the first time around.
Really?
And I never cared for that.
Oh, I did. I thought
I never cared for Eddie Murphy. I got to be honest with you. I thought he was very lame.
He's a hit or miss kind of guy for me.
It's overstated. Everything's overstated with him.
Well, the first three movies he did, I think, were the best three movies he ever did. You know, when he did 48 Hours, Trading Places, and Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
I thought those were pretty good. What about AJ and Tevin? Have you seen it, the latest Beverly Hills Cop on Netflix?
Nope, I have not. It's on my list of shows or movies that I have to watch, but I'm interested to see how this is just because the past ones were so great. I mean, Coming to America as well, another great Eddie Murphy movie. I just hope he's not one of those actors that as they get older, it gets less funny and feels like...
Hey, what as he gets older? He doesn't look like he's aged.
Oh, no, Black people age very well.
Oh, here we go.
You know what Eddie Murphy movie I saw the other day that I hadn't seen in a while, but it's like one of my favorites of his, Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's not shown on
Jamie Lee.
Jamie Lee. It's a great premise. It's funny. It's got jokes. I don't know why they don't. I feel like people forget about that movie all the time. It's a good Christmas movie too.
Yeah, and have you seen You People with Eddie Murphy and who's the Jonah Hill? Or no, not Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill, yeah.
Jonah Hill or Seth Rogen, one or the other. I confused.
I think it's Jonah Hill, but that's another good Eddie Murphy movie that was done. I think like last year.
Is that the one with the CGI kiss at the end?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, maybe Eddie Murphy still got it, and this Beverly Hills Cop movie won't be half bad.
It's good. And I saw Twisters with my daughter at the old St. Michael Cinema. Great popcorn. Anyway, but no, I thought it was great. The first one was good, but also again, they didn't use the belt. Remember Tom and Twister?
Yeah,
their lives in an F5, but
one
they also,
type.
yeah, they had great grip. You know, they can grip around. Yeah, I'm sure that you have that kind of grip that you can withstand an F5.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're probably right about that. So,
but it was good though. Good CGI.
There's a new show, a comedy called Tires, and I don't know. I can't remember where it is, or
it's on Netflix.
Is it? Have you watched it?
I have not. I know it's got Shane Gillis, who is the one of the hot comedians on the scene right now, and from what I hear, it's pretty funny.
Oh, it looks like it's got to be hilarious because Shane Gillis and then Andrew Schultz is in it as well. Who's another one of like the big rock stars in the comedy scene right now.
Is it?
They work at like a auto body like tire shop or whatever, and it's I don't know. It's Shane Gillis comedy. I think he was like the lead writer on it.
Well, I will tell you what. We've only seen one episode, and the first episode's very, very good because he puts the wrong number on, and instead of purchasing 50 tires, he purchases like 5,000 tires for his tire store. I don't know if those numbers are accurate, but they way overbuy the tires to sell, and they got to figure out how to get rid of them. And the first episode was very funny, so I'm hoping it stays that good. That'd be great.
And by the way, public service announcement having to do with tires.
Okay.
You ever get your oil changed or you have a tire change, go back after 100 or so miles, because we almost lost the tire because it wasn't tightened down right.
Really?
Yeah, and I'd never had that happen before.
Okay.
That's frightening. Oh, I mean,
I
we had
like 2 new tires last week. I had 2 nails in tires.
Well, then
you did?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Then you better get those things, bring them to wherever you got it to have them make sure they're battened down, because 3 of them sheared off. And Mary, when we got to the tire store, she was able to loosen the other ones with her fingers. Now she's not like super strong.
That's not good.
So
that's not good at all.
But keep that in mind, folks.
I'll close with my Tim Laudner story about tires. Timmy Laudner and I were driving up to Hayward, Wisconsin, playing a golf tournament. Johnny Castino, Jeff Passold, a bunch of great people going to play in this tournament in Hayward, Wisconsin. So I'm driving the car. We're driving along, and I get a flat tire. So I pull over. I go to get out of the car, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm going to go change the tire." And he goes, "I ain't riding in a car where you change the tire." So he got out and changed the tire himself.
I'll tell you what, who do you want better to change a tire than a guy used to be in the crouch a former
see,
catcher.
that's true. A very strong guy in the crouch. So he did a good job putting the tire on. He said he was not going to ride in a car where I changed the tire.
He should have. The guys that are like Maurer should open a tire store because he's used to being in the crouch.
I agree. Tire store. Just don't buy 5,000 tires where every inch of the shop is taken up by a tire.
Well, he could run the tire department at his brother's. Although I'm sure he owns he's an owner in it too. The dealership that his brother has.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I heard his brother's a nice guy. I never met him, but I heard he's a
family.
nice guy.
I mean, I haven't talked to the family. I did most of the talking I did with them was when he was in high school and coming out.
Right.
His dad's passed away, but his mom and dad were terrific to talk to, and his brothers. They're all good guys. It's a good family.
That's what I hear. That's very, very nice to hear. All right, Sandy, we will talk to you later in the week.
I live for that. We'll see you
do
later.
too, Bobby. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That is minnesotapersonalinjury.com. We'll be back. We'll schmooze. We'll find out what's going on in the news right after this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and ship issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Okay, you guys are going to have to step up. USA Today asked their readers to vote on their favorite fast food joints, and there are several surprises, they say. Do you have, the two of you, do you have a favorite fast food joint?
Favorite fast food?
That's a tough call.
That is tough. I feel like I don't eat fast food that often. I can't remember the last time I went to fast food. Does Chipotle count as like a fast food?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'd say like a Chipotle burrito place probably.
That's pretty good. I would say just like I don't go there super often because it's more of like a treat, I feel like. But a good like Culver's butter burger with a little bit of like a little custard on there too, like afterwards for dessert. Oh yeah, it's a little more sit downy because it is like I think it's classified as a restaurant, but I would throw it just for how greasy it is in the fast food category.
No, I got to agree with both of you. They're both really, really good. So I was going to go with Culver's too, but I should probably go.
No, that's fine.
Else.
We can be
okay. We can go to
feather.
Culver's is really good. Yeah. Well, here's the deal. The state of the fast food industry has been interesting recently with inflated prices and bizarre new menu items. And now the state of fast food rankings is getting interesting. USA Today asked their readers to vote on their favorite fast food joints. And there's a surprising number one, which we'll get to, but I'm going to the bottom. I've never eaten at Zaxby's. You ever eaten at Zaxby's?
Nope.
No, I don't think that's available that much in Minnesota.
No, it's not. I don't think.
Okay.
No, I don't think that. I think that's true. Arby's was number 10. Zaxby's was 9. Arby's. What?
That's insane.
That Arby's is even on this list.
Oh, that's kind of cold.
They're curly fries, sure, but no.
So you don't like the steaks? Back when they used to take it literally off the spigot.
Really?
It was really good.
Okay, see, I can get behind that.
My family and I, we used to go to Arby's a lot when I was a kid,
mm-hmm.
but then they changed something somewhere along their Arby's timeline, and it's just warm meat on a bun, and I don't understand why people go berserk over it anymore.
Arby's, what's more surprising, that Arby's made a list of the best fast food places. That's kind of cold. Or that it made the list when other classic brands like Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, and Subway did not make this list. That's pretty amazing.
That is surprising that those are all not on the list, but I think just because there's more options now for fast food, where back in the day, it was pretty limited.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Okay, so we got Arby's and Zaxby's so far. Popeyes.
Solid.
That's solid. The chicken store, right?
Should probably be higher on the list, but we'll see.
There's one in Lake Street.
Yeah, I think it's not as available in some places. It's not like a McDonald's where it's like on every corner and every counter.
Right. Number 7 would be Taco Bell.
Okay, I'll allow it.
No, you're allowing it?
Okay. No.
No.
For me.
I think overrated, but it's still fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I never heard of this one. Captain D's.
So I've never heard of that either.
Even heard of it.
I think you're too old to be setting us up for a joke here, but I've never heard of Captain D's.
There are around 500 locations in 22 states, but they're mostly focused in the southeastern United States. If you're not familiar, it's a seafood place.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like a Long John Silver's.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
It would be like that. Okay, we get to the top 5. Number 5 is Hardee's.
What?
My dad used to work at a Hardee's when he was in college.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go. Working at Hardee's. Number 4 is In-N-Out. We don't have those here. We got them in Vegas, though.
Yeah, no In-N-Outs, but they're very good.
Yeah, In-N-Out, I would agree, is very good. You ever had an In-N-Out?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the odd man out. Like, it's good, but like people talk about it's like a life-altering experience.
Yes,
it's a cheeseburger.
Well, that's true.
It's it is good, but it's like let's tone it back a little bit here.
We get to number 3, Chick-fil-A. Number 2 would be what?
I hate Chick-fil-A.
You hate Chick-fil-A?
I wish Chick-fil-A would go away. The obsession people.
Oh, that's the guy who's not open on Sunday.
Yeah, people are obsessed with it.
People are obsessed.
It needs to go away.
You're right. What's interesting is a lot of chicken on in the top area there. KFC is number 2.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. KFC should not be number 2 on this list.
That's actually insane, Tom.
It's mediocre at best.
That's more surprising than Arby's just being on the list.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. I think we've just lost every advertiser we ever had.
No, we got to go big for number 1.
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. There are around 600 locations in 18 states, but they're mostly focused in the western states, plus Georgia and Florida. Del Taco.
Interesting. I've never eaten at one, but
no, I haven't either. But that's like another Taco Bell or like a Taco John's type thing, right?
Oh, they are, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm assuming when it's called Del Taco.
Del Taco. So I've never eaten a Del Taco. I've never eaten at a Chick-fil-A. I never have. I have at KFC. In-N-Out I have in Vegas. Hardee's I have. Captain D's never.
No.
Taco Bell, good. Popeyes is good. I've never eaten at a Zaxby. So 30% of these I've never even eaten at.
No, and a lot of these places are like specifically down south or on the coast. Where
that's very lot more people.
More people, and food is just a little bit better.
It's absolutely true. USAtoday.com actually has a series of new 10 best ranks from their readers, including 10 fast food places with the best fries. So now you said that was an important thing, the fries.
Oh, you got to have good fries.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So let me see if I can just find that list very, very quickly. The best fries in America.
While you find that, I do have an off-the-grid one that's not going to be very popular.
Okay.
But Val's in St. Cloud.
Val's?
I
don't know that.
Oh, my gosh.
What is it?
It's like a drive up. You walk in, there's no place to sit down, but you just walk up to like computers on each side. You order your cheeseburgers, you order your fries, you order like a shake if you want. It is some of the best, like it's some of the best like cheeseburger fast food type thing you'll ever
called Val's.
Val's.
All right, I'll give it a whirl next time.
And yeah, it kind of looks like a dump driving up, but I promise you the food is worth it. The fries are tremendous.
So there you go. Fry favorites. The top 10 fast food restaurants with the best fries would be Popeyes, Arby's, Whataburger, A&W. God, A&W. I haven't even seen one in a while. Chick-fil-A's number 6. Your top 5 are Five Guys. Yeah, I like Five Guys.
Yeah.
Do a nice job with Five Guys.
Yeah.
Golden Chick. I thought it was Golden Chicken, but it's Golden Chick.
I've actually never heard of that.
Never even heard of it. Number 3, McDonald's does have really good fries.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yep.
There's no question. Number 2 is Jack in the Box.
Never had it.
No, I haven't either. Number 1 would be Del Taco again. They got the best tacos. They got
What is
the best
going on at Del Taco that we need to know about?
Honest to God. We didn't even know about this stuff, man. They're blowing us away with this. But yeah, so Del Taco apparently wins across the board. So we're going to have to have some, they don't have any here.
We're going to start a petition. They got to bring at least one to the Twin Cities area.
I feel like Del Taco put these lists together. There's no way they have the best tacos and fries.
Yes.
They put it together themselves. We got to take a break. Be right back. Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. And in the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know damn right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kristyn Burtt, brought to you by Del Taco, the #1 rated. Ooh, she's giving me a dirty look. Kristyn Burtt, 97 News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Del Taco. She gave it the thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Yeah. That is kind of the place you go at 2 a.m. I don't even know if they're open till 2 a.m. anymore. After a night of adult beverages, you go through. I was in Vegas because they're here on the West Coast, and I was at one of the clubs somewhere on the Strip, and we made our taxi driver take us through the drive-through to get tacos and like Cokes and anything else to sober us up as quickly as possible.
Okay, you've got to spin the room now. So you used to go to Del Taco when you were hammered.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, where'd you go when you were hammered?
After bar closed in St. Cloud, we'd walk down to this place called New York Euro.
New York Euro?
Yes, it's tremendous. It's very, very sloppy looking, but boy, does it taste great.
The grease is so good when you are drunk.
Yeah.
No, that's very nice.
It's so good.
Devin?
Me, I was any pizza by the slice place.
Oh, yeah, great.
It's a good call.
When you live in New York, pizza by the slice, 3 a.m. just hits the spot.
Yep. It's very true. And Tommy goes with White Castle.
There you go.
Oh, you did their sliders.
The sliders at White Castle. Because usually, if you went to a White Castle after being at the bar all night, you could run into somebody who wanted to fight you almost every time. Somebody always wants to fight.
Didn't White Castle do like the case where you can get like a case
Oh,
of
yes.
sliders and there's like 30 of them or something like that? Yeah.
There are like 30 of them.
Do you still have White Castles in Minnesota?
I think there are a couple of them, not very many anymore.
Okay, yeah. We don't have them here on the West Coast, but when I lived in New York City, there was like one way out in Queens somewhere in a random spot.
You know, one guy in Minneapolis, I don't know, maybe you guys know this guy, but there was a White Castle that closed down. So he bought the building and moved it to another lot, and he runs a law office out of an old White Castle building. So he's got like a castle. Pretty good idea, actually.
I think that's fun. It's iconic too.
It is. Oh God, yes. White Castle was unbelievable. 2 steak sandwiches. Settle down. Yeah, I've eaten at White Castle more than one time with a little liquor in my system. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think everyone has their like go-to spot.
No question about it. So what's going on in your world? We're just
There's nothing happening in the world. It's been a really quiet weekend.
Very
just
true.
Hung out. Well, I would just say that I think what was interesting from my perspective yesterday was, when the news dropped about Joe Biden dropping out of the race, I think the pivot that all of the news channels had to do and understand that a lot of their Monday through Friday anchors were called in. And they were all just, you had Wolf Blitzer, who was actually like drinking an Aperol Spritz and like, I'm brunching, having a boozy brunch. And literally 1 hour later, after he posted that photo, he was in the studio in a suit.
Oh, no.
And it really makes, being a journalist, like obviously for me, it's entertainment when it's like someone like a celebrity passes away, or it's what we call the Friday 5 p.m. news dump, which is like who is announcing their breakup or their divorce or things like that. But, when you, and these are like small ramifications, but when you're talking about something that affects everyone in the country in terms of like political news and who may or may not be president of the United States, for all of those anchors in DC, they must have just been like, oh my gosh, here we go. Because behind the scenes, all of the stations were preparing that this was probably going to be reality, that Joe Biden was going to drop out, but they did not expect it to happen on a Sunday. And so,
yeah, that's true.
Quick pivot. So it was really fascinating to watch all of that sort of unravel very quickly, and who, jumped and rose to the occasion right away. Wolf Blitzer and his Aperol Spritz left it behind, jumped in his suit, and he was in the studio, while others, had to catch up.
Every time I hear his name, I think of back in the day when a storm hit Louisiana, and he went on TV and said the following. A lot of these people are so poor and so black. Like, what? The hell does that even mean?
Was that during Katrina?
Yes, it was during Katrina. He said they're so poor and so black. I'm like, what the hell
I
does
was in
that?
China during Katrina, and I
Oh,
remember
were you
coming
really?
back. Yeah. And so Katrina had already happened, and I'm a day ahead of the world, so the jet
Yeah.
lag is real.
Yep.
And I remember like turning on the TV in the middle of the night because I was up at like 3 a.m. and just watching. It was just the scenes of what had happened. To the aftermath of it all was horrific. I feel like the aftermath was worse than the actual hurricane.
Yeah, I could understand that. No question about that. So, what do you think of this whole situation? You got Kamala Harris. I would assume it's going to be pretty tough for women, people of color, to not vote for her, or will they not? What do you think?
I think that the rallying around Kamala is pretty strong, particularly with Gen Z. And if for Kamala, her team needs to embrace TikTok and probably
Oh, yeah.
Instagram, which they do already. But I think the more that they embrace TikTok and rally Gen Z to vote, they will be successful, at least in mounting a strong campaign. I can't say that elicits a win, but to get people excited again about the election, because nobody was excited about this election before.
No, that's true.
And
You're right.
having someone who's a little bit younger, I think, and for a lot of people, having a female there and a possibility that she could win. I get that people are going to be divisive about this. I get that she's going to face a lot of challenges, but I think that, yesterday, what did they raise? 46 million?
A lot of money, yeah.
A lot of money. That shows at least that people are excited. I don't love how all of this was handled. I'm not going to lie.
No,
I feel like
it was bad.
why is George Clooney, why is Barack Obama
I
essentially
know.
leading a campaign to kick him out? It doesn't matter if you're going to vote for him or not. I do feel like he's owed the dignity to do it on his own terms and everything else. He looked, Bill and I were talking about this morning. I said, his post-COVID, we saw him walking down Air Force One. He looks like he's lost some weight. He doesn't look healthy right now.
Yep.
But at the same time, he's been in public service. We owe him that out of respect to let him exit the way he wants, not because George Clooney did a New York Times op-ed.
I know George Clooney's the most overrated actor in history anyway.
He lives in Italy. He's got a home in France.
Yep.
He has a home in England. He has a home in Italy. I've done articles on all three of these properties at some point in my career. And he does have a home here in Studio City. He is here so infrequently in the US. I'm like, really? You want to have a say? Like, we have all said, like, people who have been supporting the Democratic ticket were going to vote for Joe Biden no matter what. They weren't going to switch over to Donald Trump. Everyone's decision had kind of been made at that point. But like, I don't know, just do it with a little bit. I just felt really mean and really cruel. I kind of felt
I
bad
agree
for Joe Biden yesterday.
No, I understand your position there, and I people like, why would anybody give a rat's ass what George Clooney thinks about politics? Who cares?
I don't know.
Multi-millionaire. It doesn't matter what he thinks.
I don't know. Like, it's just bizarre. I'm like, I am tired of living through unprecedented times, people. I'm like, I am good for it to just be a good, boring old presidential election.
Do you think if she is the person, and sure, it looks like she is going to be the person.
I think so.
Do you think running with another woman is what's going to happen?
No, there's no way.
Guy?
To me, like, if I were to have the ideal ticket with Kamala, it would be Pete Buttigieg. I think that he is smart. I think that he knows how to handle the press well. I think also he has a decent relationship with Congress as well, that he could sort of navigate all of that. They'll never go for it because he is a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and America can't wrap its brain around two different groups
Wait a minute,
that have never been in the office.
Let's go with transgender then. A guy used to be a guy is now a woman. What do you think?
America can't wrap their brain around it. I have no problem with it.
Not going to happen.
You got to America. You have to pick one first time. You can't have it be like, oh, we're going to break all these barriers at once. You got to pick one barrier to break, and then you attack the next one. A couple years from now or a couple elections from now.
100%, it's going to be a white dude from a swing state, and it looks like Josh Shapiro seems to be, because he's the governor of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but he's a Jew. They're going to elect a Jew.
We can do that. We can
I
handle
know we
that.
can. I got no problem with it, but a lot of people are anti-Jew right now. You may have
But he's
noticed
a conservative Democrat. And if
Yeah.
you have those
Mhm.
swing voters
No, that's
that are
true.
like, I'm not in love with Trump. Oh, but we have a conservative Democrat in office. They're going to go, I feel maybe a little bit more comfortable going in this direction. That will change a few people's minds, not everyone's mind, but it will change a few people's minds, and it will help them win Pennsylvania, which they need.
I'm in a situation where the only thing that's missing is the Catholic part, because where I grew up was blacks, Jews, and Catholics. Where's the Catholic in this deal?
I have an answer for you. Ta-da! The biggest superstar who is going to emerge from this election is not going to be Kamala Harris or her VP pick. It is going to be Jack Schlossberg, who is the grandson of JFK, who is killing it on TikTok. He is now a political contributor to Vogue. And people are all like, he looks like JFK Jr., blah, blah, blah. But he is getting out there on social media and really talking to Gen Z, saying like, these are the implications of what happens now that Joe Biden has dropped out. This is what it means to you. He does explain Supreme Court rulings, and he'll explain it in layman's terms, which I think is fabulous, because you have someone who has a law degree and who is approachable and understandable and relatable in some way, because he is pretty wacky if you've seen his personality out there on social media. But I think that he's going to emerge as one of the biggest superstars to come out of the Kennedy family in decades.
Well, see, and that's good. So it means we have another mafia family involved again. So
And
that's
I
good.
don't think he is. I'd be curious if he ever really runs for office, because he's shown no interest. But I do think he's shown interest in being an influencer. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but I don't know. Tevin AG, have you seen him on TikTok?
No, this is I've never heard of the what do you say? It's Jack Schlossman?
Jack Schlossberg. And that is Carolyn Kennedy's son. So that was JFK Jr.'s
Oh,
sister.
sure.
They were the two kids of JFK. But and let me tell you, they're calling him the Grey Gardens. If anyone knows Grey Gardens and the wacky part of the Bouvier family, everyone is saying he was part of the wacky part of the Bouvier family. He loves musicals. He is always shirtless and like on his paddleboard, because everyone was joking yesterday, like Jack Schlossberg had to get off his paddleboard and get on TikTok to explain
Oh my God.
to all of us.
Tough life.
Tough
Very
life.
tough life.
But I honestly think it's a good voice, because we haven't had that really young voice emerge and at least step up into the political arena. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a senator or a governor or anything like that.
You know, I'd like to see eventually because I don't think it's ever happened in my lifetime where a Democrat wins or a Republican wins and says, hey, you know what? I know this is not how it usually goes, but I'd like to reach across the aisle and work with the Democrats and work with the Republicans. Let's try to work together. That's what America needs now.
I agree. And I wish, I wish that in hindsight that this was all information like months and months ago in terms of like Biden possibly not running. It would have allowed a legitimate, because I just don't think Robert Kennedy Jr. is a legitimate third-party candidate, but someone who really legitimately could have mounted a strong third-party campaign. But we don't have that opportunity. We've got months ahead until the election, and that's where we are.
And RFK Jr. is a pretty smart guy, though.
With the worms in his brain?
Well, what do you got in your brain?
I don't have worms.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They moved in because he's got a good brain, and it was, the whole.
They had something to feast off of. Like, what is he being? It's like his zombie attack.
It makes me sad. That poor guy. Seems like a nice guy.
I don't. It's just very.
No,
I don't think so. I mean, even though Kennedy family is like, do not vote for him. We do not like own him.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that was weird because you would think if anybody's going to endorse you, it'd be your own family.
That'd
and
be
when
nice.
They were like,
That'd be
yeah, we're good. So,
I mean, and he doesn't believe in any vaccines at all. And, listen, get your vaccines, don't get your vaccines, whatever. But I mean, when it comes to something like a measles or a mumps, things that go back decades and decades, I'm not talking about COVID because I understand people have their hesitations, but let's go to the ones that eradicated the disease. And by not getting your vaccines, they are coming back. We had a huge measles outbreak in Disneyland about 6-7 years ago. And I mean, it spread like wildfire throughout California amongst the unvaccinated.
When are we going to get whooping cough again? Let's go.
Some people are getting whooping cough.
They are not really.
Yes,
I just
they
made
are.
that up. Are they really?
They are. I promise you. And it oftentimes it happens. Like, I feel like New York City has had some whooping cough outbreaks and things like that. Like cities that are really dense. You're in subways together. So it's just Robert F. Kennedy Jr. he's not the third party candidate.
Your buddy.
He's not my buddy.
All right,
I made up my mind 4 years ago who I'm voting for in 2024, and that has not changed. So
you made that up long ago, did you?
Yeah, I mean, and the Supreme Court decision probably also sealed the deal for me too. Even as an independent voter, I can't vote for the Republican Party right now. That's all.
You never have. Why would you now?
I voted for Republican before. I voted for Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor. He was a Republican.
Ooh, look at you. Nice choice.
He did. He was not a bad governor either.
Again.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. He hates Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I did.
I don't mind Arnold.
But Gray Davis at that point was a hot mess in our state. And I am not opposed. Like, I even think that having a supermajority in our state Senate is not great either. There's not enough balance. So there's not enough voices on the other side to find that common ground. We just have that supermajority. So I have voted for Republican, but I am a NPP is what it's called. No party preference here in California. And so I feel like it frees me to make the decisions. But
I think pretty much all four of us are NPPs, I think.
NPP, yeah, you know me.
Oh, God. Here we go. All right. I'm going to go slit my throat.
No, you're not. And just in case anyone wants to watch.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. And I got one more point. If you guys want to watch like fun political shows that seem to have predicted this disaster, go back and watch Scandal by Shonda Rhimes, which is an excellent drama. Go back and watch Veep, also predicted some of this. And that has a lot more comedy, where Scandal is a little bit like, this is a little too real life. And The Simpsons people, they have literally predicted everything that has happened in modern times, including a little, it seems like a purple suited Kamala with her little pearl set that I've seen. So, I don't know where these writers are getting their ideas or looking into their crystal ball, but if you're looking for some political content, there you go.
A brilliant report, I thought. You were very even keel today. Look how
I do my best. Up for a Monday, too. Can you believe it?
Trying to bring the country together. Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. All right, pal, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC equal housing lender. Boy, she was very even keel today. What's that all about?
Yeah, she's in a very good mood. I mean, as usual, but always great stuff.
I thought she was a commie, though.
No.
He goes, no. God, you big baby.
I just feel bad talking anything bad about Kristyn Burtt.
That's nothing bad about Kristyn Burtt.
Such a nice person.
Why don't we put it this way? If I don't make fun of you, it means I don't like you. There you go. That's what you have to understand.
That's fair.
Unless you get ripped on by me, it means I don't really care for you at all. So there you go. Because you have no sense of humor and you're a pain in the ass. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that sums it up.
Works for me. All right, family shows up in about 10 minutes.